favorite Queer Starfinder podcast. We would like to thank all of our new listeners who have checked us out since our interview with Cosmic Crit. Super exciting to see all of you people coming and checking us out. We're so glad you're giving us a chance and hope you're enjoying our misadventures. This week, we see the crew figuring out next steps after the adventure hook was stolen and heading to Verces to take advantage of some personal upgrades. We'll talk a little bit about leveling, some roleplay during our travel, and then get to know Absco just a little bit better. I know we haven't had any new artwork for a couple of weeks, but Punder has been swamped with traveling and our 10-year anniversary trip. We should get back on schedule next week with his awesome creations. As always, we hope that you will take some time and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, and if you have friends who like queer representation in arts and gaming, please let them know about us. We can be reached on Twitter at ExQueerience. We can receive email at ExQueeriencePoints@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, and we would absolutely love to hear from you.
Hello and welcome back to ExQueerience Points, your favorite sci-fi Starfinder campaign, where all of us queer folks go gallivanting about the universe, committing shenanigans, and surviving game shows, apparently. I am your host and GM, Miyu.
I am Kelric. I play Angus, and I'm the producer of the show.
I'm Taylor. I play Phaedra, and I didn't die last time, so that's... Oh, I mean, well, kind of, but I'm still here. Still here.
I'm Megan, and I play Captain Kira.
I'm Punder, and I play Absco Cash.
Excellent. Now, Captain Kira, I believe you have a recap, so would you please fill us in on what happened last time?
Dear Diary, we almost died. And so we won the show, and then the Snow Lady stole the adventure hook right as I was about to tackle it off of the little stand it was on. But after beating the creepy crawly critters, I still feel pretty accomplished. End note.
All right, well, that was a look inside the mind of Kira. So yeah, last time you did end up beating the show, and like you said, the Snow Lady, silver dragon that transformed into a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman with ice and snow coming off of her, grabbed the adventure hook, thanked you for getting it back for her, and poof, disappeared. The show was all aflutter, and to keep you from suing, they have offered you coupons, rain checks, certificates, something along those lines, for a free augmentation at one of the Verces clinics in the Ring Nation of Kashak. Answer.
I didn't sign anything, so can I still technically sue them? And do we completely roleplay that out? Is that like a thing that we could do?
You can try to sue them if you would like.
You can go to court.
But these shows are not subject to Pact World law. They are an exclusively Eoxian thing. So if you feel like you could navigate the Eoxian courts to sue them.
I don't know how to do that.
Next week on Zombie Court.
There's certainly a bottom feeder lawyer somewhere who's willing to take this case.
I'm ready to turn this into...
our own version of Night Court, that show. Dave was a little. All right. Yeah,
Now I feel old. Okay.
I love that Captain Kira's recap doesn't even mention the dragon. She's just like, nope, just a person.
Just the Snow Lady.
Yeah.
She's the Snow Lady.
But dragon? What dragon? Dragons. Amazing.
You have recovered from your wounds because of the medics from the show. You have been put up in the finest Eoxian hotel, which is made to remind you quite a bit of Absalom Station.
Aw.
A place that offworlders are quite familiar with.
Is it?
And so you find yourself in your suite.
Just to kick this off, you did give us the go-ahead to level 4.
Mm-hmm.
And as Angus wakes up, he spent some time during recovery thinking about the situation they were just in and meditating on his powers. And I took Gravity Boost as my next stellar revelation, which it allows me to I can increase or reduce the gravitational attraction between myself and the terrain around me. I can add a bonus equal to 1/3 of my Solarian level, minimum of 1, to athletics checks to climb, jump, or swim as part of the action I take to attempt the skill check. In addition, if I'm
Nice.
falling, I can reduce the falling damage by half until I'm at 6th level, in which case I can start spider climbing and just running up walls like a fool.
That'll be
Super
something.
Exciting.
Mm-hmm.
That will be something. So basically, as you're recovering, you're having these visions of gravity and the positrons and how all of the universe is just interacting together, and you come out with a new understanding, and you're pretty sure you can control gravity now.
Yeah, to avoid spike traps. There were many dreams about spike traps coming at me, and been able to.
So what are Phaedra and Kira and Absco? What does it look like for you through the recovery process as you level up?
Phaedra dreams of like training with the sword. When she wakes up, she's training. I took weapon focus sword, so I'm out here to hit hard.
Phaedra decides she needs to concentrate more on her martial form, as it seems to have been somewhat lacking. The life of a psychiatrist has made her forget some of her really basic training, and so she's just at it with this longsword, going to master this weapon.
Kira spent a lot of time meditating and gained some spells.
Excellent.
I'm not telling anyone what they are, though.
You spend
They're
time
really
in
good, though.
communion with Desna, and you feel her presence helping heal you and revealing more of her wisdom to you.
She would also probably spend some time trying to think of this snow lady and trying to figure out what her group's next steps are going to be as the adventure hookers without the adventure hook.
Right? And what about you, Absco?
Absco was very disturbed by like how close to death they all came, and through that they were just concentrating on the lessons that they've learned. And so one of the operative exploits that they picked up was, and it is a field treatment, which allows them to heal up to 3 times their operative level, given a 1-minute rest and spinning resolve point. And I mean, they're kind of just upset in general. Like the prize really wasn't a prize for them, because they're going to have to go back to Absco's homeworld, and they imagine that this hotel that they're staying in, or this resort, is kind of like, looking at Paris in Las Vegas, where it's just this characterization of what they know as like where they've lived for a long while. So they're just kind of like ready to go.
Yep, that pretty much sums it up. It's like Paris and Las Vegas. So yeah, you spent some time going over the like field treatment manual for operatives. I just picture you have like field treatment manual for operatives, and you're just reading it.
Yeah, with all the
so
pictures.
basically, you're reading some survival like first aid stuff, like studying up on it, how to quickly heal some wounds and things, and kind of analyzing those last encounters and realizing this is your life.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Well, you've all healed up. What do you want to do?
I want to another mystic check.
Okay.
See if I can figure out where I know this snow lady.
Okay. That is a 17. Something is bugging you. You're certain that you heard something about some snow dragon lady thing in some obscure text somewhere, but you can't think of what it is or where it was or anything.
Yeah.
Like it's just driving you nuts, and you're digging through everything you're trying to think of, but you can't find it.
Are we back on our ship, or are we in a hospital? Where are
You can, well, no, you are in the, as it was said, the Paris and Vegas.
Okay.
You're in this hotel resort. You can go back to your ship. You're free to go. You're free to do whatever you would like at this point. They just put you up there for recovery purposes.
Okay.
I imagine it's like billboarded as like the living space station on Dead Eox.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I vote we go back to the ship and make sure George is still there.
Sure. I know more comfortable in his own space rather than at a hotel. At the ship, I would like to see if I can use my computer's knowledge to set it up to do like an info crawl, like a little worm or spider, to try and find anything about this silver dragon. Just anything that references
All right.
female.
Angus.
While he's doing that, I want to
You-
stand
you get-
behind him.
Angus gets to the ship along with Kira, and there's George sitting there sewing away. Angus, he's finished your clothing.
The gasp. Hey, George, what you working on there?
Just working on some clothes. Here, I finished that thing you wanted.
Oh, excellent. And I immediately...
What exactly did you order from him again?
What I asked for him to do
I don't remember
was
exactly.
work on my armor to make it more fitted and give it some splash and, you know, a little bit of pop. So I'm assuming
Alright.
while we were recovering, he had my armor to work on that.
Yep. Let's see, what armor are you wearing? Golem forged plating.
Yeah.
Well, I don't usually do all this work with metal and stuff, but I was able to take it in a little bit, and I found someone. We form fitted it a little bit, and added all these streamers, and it's pink, and here you go. And sure enough, it's got all kinds of new bright pink adornments all over it,
That sounds amazing.
including armbands. If you think like Ultimate Warrior style, you know, big pink armbands to go around your biceps.
Excellent. Oh, George,
Do it with
really
pink streamers coming off of them.
This is amazing. I'm so happy. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Did you get your hook thingy?
We did not. Of all
Oh.
things, a silver dragon stole it from us. A silver dragon shows up out of nowhere. Slowest time. It'll be on TV. You'll be able to see the vids of it at sometime.
Silver dragon, you say? That's crazy.
It's crazy, all right. So, anyone else have something to talk to George about? Because he's awesome.
George,
Oh.
I was thinking,
Yes, Captain.
well, you see my hat here. And
Uh-huh.
I take it off and I show it to him. And I was like, wouldn't this look so much better if it was just a little bit bigger?
It looks at it. You want your hat bigger? He looks
Yeah.
at the hat, looks at you. Yeah, I think I can do that. Yeah.
You know, not too much, because, I mean,
No.
But-
Like 20% bigger.
yeah, and maybe some, like, really cool things hanging off the brim of it.
His eyes light up. Oh, I got just the stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful, George. I'm so glad we brought you along.
Oh, I'm glad to be here, Captain, ma'am.
Get to work on that hat.
Right away. He goes right to work on the hat, puts away what he was doing, is looking at the hat and measuring stuff and pulling out different materials,
Do we need to do a perception check just to see what he was
whistling
working
away.
on? I would love to know what he was working on while we were gone.
Go ahead, give me a perception check. 15.
Uh-huh.
Looks like a jumpsuit.
All right. Who does it look like it fits?
You can't really tell because he hasn't like held it up or anything. Kira, yeah, it's the start of a jumpsuit for
Okay.
sure. And as you're looking around, you see a couple of pieces, more pieces than for one jumpsuit.
Huh.
Matching outfits.
Oh my god.
I believe in
Oh
the
my
professional
God.
world they're called uniforms. And a matching
Are we
outfit would
getting
work.
team uniform?
I just
With a jacket.
picture you now like going into work and being like, look, we're wearing matching outfits. It's like, yes, that is the uniform.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is so amazing. I love George so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, absolutely. I wish he could shoot a gun to save his soul, but I love him.
So yeah, Absco kind of saunters onto the ship, and they're definitely dealing with something. Like they are just not excited about what has happened, and like they're kind of like a sullen teenager, really.
Absco's just dragging his feet.
Yeah, kind of downtrodden.
I elbow Phaedra real lightly because, you know, Phaedra's
She's still tender.
it's like, what do you think's going on over there? Pointing at Absco.
I mean,
What's all that about?
well, we've been having a rough go of it, but I mean, do we know where Absco's from?
I don't, but I know he's usually much more saucy than this, and this is not the Absco that we've gotten to know.
Angus, while you're doing that, I assume you're putting out your crawl. If you want to give me a computer's check just so I have it.
Okay. I'm like, maybe you want to use some of your professional experience to talk to him. I got a 21.
Cool.
Okay. I'm gonna like pop on over to Absco. I imagine that he or they are like ish. They're being broody.
Yeah, I mean, Absco like got on the ship, and I imagine Absco after getting on the ship, like doing their solemn walk, they went straight to the flight deck and just plopped in their chair and just started charting courses and looking for the next time frame that they can start getting out of Eox. So they're up in the flight deck or the bridge.
All right, so I'm gonna follow them up there, and I just be like, "Hey, bud, well, you're looking pretty down. What's going on?"
This was just much more than I was expecting. I mean, sure, we got our revenge on Gideon. Sure, we met another lovely android, Solomon, as you know.
Yeah.
But this was a lot, and now gonna have to go to stupid Verces. I'm not excited about that.
Well, why not? We got those coupons and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm from. That's where the Verthani came from. I mean, if I go there and I don't see family, then I'm gonna hear about it, and I haven't seen them since I left.
Well, and how long ago was that?
Oh, I'd say it's probably been, about 10 years.
Oh,
We don't talk much.
I see the problem.
Oh, well, tell me what the problem is.
Well,
Because I'm having problems with it.
I mean, haven't seen or talked to them in 10 years. So, from my professional opinion, it seems that you are estranged from family, and either they don't approve of who you are or you leaving, but it's not going to be a happy family reunion, I'm guessing.
Well, let me just put it this way. I had been alone since then. Solomon was Gideon was the first entity that I even thought about being near for a long time. And now, well, I guess I have you all, and this is new. This is different. And the idea of going back to my family and seeing them is just not making me happy.
Well, I understand, and all of us are here to talk. Some of us might not be as smart as the other.
Absco looks kind of quizzically, but doesn't say anything.
Phaedra leans in and whispers, "The captain's not really that bright."
She's more
Best
action-oriented.
therapist ever.
Absco kind of leans in and says, "They do like to push buttons. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it gets us killed. But, all in all, we made it through, I suppose."
That's true, but a lot of the time she doesn't think before she acts.
Well, I mean, that brought us George, and George is good.
She based her opinion on how big he was.
We all have our.
Sorry,
things.
I'm loving
I mean,
Megan's face as everyone's just like sitting here just talking about her character like right in front of her, and she's like, "What the hell?"
You guys understand that I'm sleeping on the couch tonight, right?
For those of you listening, like I wish you could see her face because it is just like I'm right here. Please continue.
I don't know if I want to anymore.
In case it's also not clear, like Taylor and Megan are partners, Kelric and I are partners, and so these comments and situations are very, very interesting. Absco is like, well, yeah, but they make decisions, and I've suddenly realized that I don't necessarily want to make decisions right now.
And neither do I, and well, here we are, so.
And I mean, I don't really need to bring up that we all fell for Gideon in one way or another. I mean, not necessarily romantically as I did, but
I get you.
So I'm happy that we're together, but I may need y'all's help.
Well, and when you call upon us, we'll be there for you.
Thank you.
For we are the adventure hookers. All right. So while they're having this conversation, this very mutinous conversation about the captain on the bridge,
all in all, was
Angus
not
and Kira, Angus, you're setting up some computer worms to kind of dig your way through any systems that you can get in contact with. All right, so you've sent out a couple of worms, Angus, digging through various systems, any system you would come in contact with. As of right now, it's making good progress, but you're not getting anything back just yet.
Totally fair, because I'm being super cautious on all of them, because...
Right, it's just probes, like, looking for keywords, basically.
Pretty much.
You've sent out keyword worms that are just, like, scanning databases, looking for keywords, and trying to return anything. You feel like you've done a pretty good job setting that in motion.
After the conversation with Phaedra, something occurred to Absco. And so they get up from their chair and they go to Angus.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, Angus, do you remember Solomon talking about Triune?
Very briefly, I remember something about it. But
Do you think that...
Very strange.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that the Silver Dragon has anything to do with that?
I can certainly see it within the realm of possibility, but I don't know. But I've started doing some searching online to see what I can find, so I'll add those parameters to what I was looking at, because that's a really good idea.
I just thought about it. I'm gonna be up in the bridge.
Aye. Okay.
Okay, so you can add that as a parameter to, like, make it a higher priority if Triune is
tagged in any way.
It is tagged in there along with, yeah. Here you are on EOX, having recovered, and you have coupons.
I'm ready to go redeem my coupon.
Same.
All right.
Silence.
Well, sounds like you guys are going to Verces.
Kira comes to the bridge. I'm like, I already have the core set.
I appreciate that. And then I turn to Phaedra and I'm like, should you text Solomon and let her know our situation before we take a vacation venture?
Did they give me my phone back?
Yes, they gave you your phone back.
Okay, so take out my phone, open up the text message, and remember the last thing that she said to me was a new number, who dis? So I'm just gonna text that number again, because, like, I mean, maybe she was just doing it as, like, a safety thing, and it's not safe, like, in a public area to just, like, text.
There was another interaction after that where they told us...
She told you what door to go to? What studio?
Okay, yeah.
At the restaurant.
Okay, so I'm gonna text her again. Don't know if you saw the show. Adventure Hook stolen by Silver Dragon Snow Lady. Miss you. Going to... It's Verces?
Yes, Verces.
Going to Verces to redeem coupons. XO, Phaedra. And then I send it.
Okay. You do not get a response back soon.
Oh, and then I send another one that says, let me know what we are supposed to do. Send.
You get a very terse message.
Oh no.
That just says, stand fucking by.
Ooh.
I'm not even gonna reply to it. I'm upset now.
Are you gonna tell the rest of us though? Or are you just gonna go to your room and sulk?
I'm gonna turn to the rest of the crew and she said to wait. And then I'm going to my room.
Okay.
Did she say to wait here? Or did she say to just are we still going to Verces?
I guess we should go to Verces. All she said was stand fucking by. So not quite sure if that means stay where we are or we just keep going.
Well,
I don't
we can
think...
wait a little while. I don't think it has to be... We don't have to leave right away, do we?
I want off of this planet, and as much as I'd loathe to go to Verces, I mean, Solomon can reach out to us wherever we're at.
True.
Aye, that's true. I guess it's up to the captain, though. Do we...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, ultimately, Captain.
The decision maker.
Captain the button
should.
pusher.
We should just go. I feel as if Solomon could hack into a menu at a restaurant, she can find us on another planet.
Well,
That seems far.
wrong.
All right. So Absco, I guess, comms into, the hangar area to let them know that, we're ready to take off and get that area ready.
You are cleared for takeoff.
So
All preparations made. You are ready to exit stage left or stage up.
They're gonna roll pilot in chat. 20.
Absco shows off. Okay, 22. Absco's like barrel rolling out of the atmosphere.
Actually, I think for this one,
Go ahead.
I think for this one, Absco's just like by the book, like smoothest takeoff you've ever had, no showboating whatsoever. It's just kind of like direct and unembellished.
all while holding his middle finger up to like the windshield. Like, goodbye, Eox. They're
Basically.
holding their middle finger up to the windshield. Okay, so Absco, nice smooth takeoff. You establish your departure orbit, plug in the coordinates, the well-known coordinates for Verces. In fact, you know exactly how to get there so that you will arrive in the perfect landing coordinates to arrive at Nabicon, the capital of Kashak, which is one of the ring nations. So for those of you who don't know about Verces, we're going to go over this and make sure Absco knows his home planet. Verces is a tidally locked planet, so one half of the planet is constantly in the sun, the other half is constantly in the dark, and there is a small ring of habitable nations, or habitable area around it, which is comprised of a number of nations. The one that you have your bonuses to, here's a map, by the way, for those of you watching. You can see the Fulbright and the dark side. The Fulbright is obviously the part of the planet that faces its local star, dark side being the other side of the planet, and then there's that thin ring of temperate habitable area. Kashak is the ring nation that is most known for openly augmented people. This is a very progressive and forward city in that, technologically speaking, at least.
And I imagine that is Absco's home nation town.
That works, yeah, absolutely. I imagine that you probably are from Kashak. And let's see.
I'm assuming Absco's species is the dominant species. Is their homeworld open to others to visit, or
Yeah.
What do we?
Oh yeah,
culturally?
no, the Verthani. I mean, so it depends because there are all of these different nations. So each nation can be a little bit different. But Kashak especially is very open to outsiders. They have the premier self-upgrade clinics in the entire Pact world. Like, people come from all over to get augments and upgrades.
Sweet.
That is their primary trade here in Nabicon.
Awesome. How long is the trip going to take us?
2 days.
Oh, not bad at all.
Not bad at all. It's a well-traveled route. So you've got 2 days to do whatever you would like in the drift.
So I'm going to go to Phaedra's door and just give it a little.
I open the door and I see that it's Angus, and I look at him with like a smirk, and I'm like, "Are you thinking Maze Mind?"
I am indeed.
Just the two of them.
We're like-
Maze Mind?
We're like two little kids with a new
Shall we?
toy. We're like, let's go play. Let's get our mind off all this other crap that's been going on, and let's just go play.
Okay, I have heard a lot about this Maze Mind. Would you like to kind of explain it to me?
Would you like to,
Okay.
Phaedra?
Basically, with a Maze Mind, I believe that we get, pretty sure.
I have it on the screen. And
Mhm.
Maze Core is what we actually want to work on together. And a Maze Core allows us to fuse two weapons together, so you get the benefits of both. Of
Ooh.
it. So, like, we could take a needler pistol and attach it to the end, or attach the firing mechanism and the needles as part of Kira's staff, so that Kira could point her staff and it would shoot a needle out with poison, or she could choose to stab with it, or she could stab and have a needle at the end that then injects into, if she hits, with whatever
All right.
poison cartridge she has in her staff. We could do stuff like that for everyone's weapons, including our own, or our
Okay.
or whatever.
So you're going to start hobgobbling weapons together. Just, well, if we take this and slap it on here and switch it around here, and
But
ha-ha!
it's a special thing that Noir can do because of our Minotaur background and living in mazes and stuff. And so we've just learned to take that technology and enhance it and make everything just that little bit better and more efficient
Okay.
this way. It's pretty cool.
The basics
Nice.
of Noir is that Noir are just highly, highly intelligent Minotaur, whereas Minotaur are incredibly stupid, Noir are incredibly smart.
All right. So Noir are going to begin. So y'all are going to begin working on a maze core.
Yes.
We did start working on a maze core while we had Sitza, and we got about
Okay.
16 hours of work done because it was a full trip, and we were working
Yes.
8 hours each time.
That is correct. Okay. So yeah, you're working on your maze core. The Noir's natural grasp of complex patterns and shifting connections has allowed them to develop special kinds of multifunctional devices using an adjustable component known as maze core. Select 2 pieces of equipment. It has a bulk equal to that of the bulkiest of the 2 items plus 1, and cost equal to the most expensive of the items plus 1.5 times the cost of the less expensive item. All right. Yeah, there's nothing in there about how long it takes. So whatever crafting would be, I'll say you get some work done on it. Definitely. You could probably have a couple of these done.
Sweet. So we'll have those set aside for whenever we get some equipment that we want to combine. Like if once we get the first one accomplished, finished, I think we agreed that would go to Kira because she was having the most trouble with weapons. And so once we get the first one done, Phaedra, do you want to go with me and we'll talk to Kira and say we have this for you? So if you have we have some interesting ideas on what we can do with it.
Yes.
We'll take the time and we'll bring our first one up to Kira and say, so Captain, we have a pretty cool toy we've come up with, and we're really hoping that we can create something pretty cool that you can use to help kill things when we need to kill them. And I point to Phaedra who's carrying it, and I'm like, sure what we did.
And I hold it out, and I'm not really quite sure what it would look like. I would like to think that it would be like an orb.
I agree, but
Yeah.
you can see sort of shifting cogs and gears, like a maze inside of it that's constantly moving, almost like the stairs at Hogwarts that are moving, but all compacted into this core thing that we've done, and it's all gears and stuff that just start moving.
Yeah, like the inside of a pocket watch.
I like it.
Yeah.
But so much more complicated.
The kind of thing that if you didn't make it and you don't know anything about it, you would just stare at it and be like, oh, that's nice.
Pretty much. There you go. Just an orb with a bunch of mechanical pieces shifting and moving around.
Okay, so Kira tilts her head and looks at it and says, all right, how exactly is this gonna help me in battle?
Oh my gosh, this is where you come in. Oh, this is so exciting. And I'm just giddy. I'm like, okay, so we know you like to fight with a spear, but you've been doing so well with shooting things as well. Oh my gosh, you've shot things, you've stabbed things, you've killed things. It's been really cool. Oh, and so we thought if we built one of these things, which our people like to do, and then we took your spear, and provided you want to keep using your spear, I mean, there are all kinds of other weapons we can do. And I looked to Phaedra and I'm like, what do you think? I mean, the spear, and what else could we do here? I mean, spear on spear.
I mean,
there's so many options.
She's got the spear, and then she's got that laser pistol.
True. Oh, a laser spear would be cool.
And the thought goes through your mind there, Angus, laser spear pistol.
If we just take the pistol port off, and then we hollow out the inside of the spear, we set up and I think Phaedra and I would both go into this really technical idea of hollowing out the spear and
attaching the trigger mechanism into the spear,
do
and
some
being
filigree
able
on the
to
outside.
reload it.
Yeah, do it like a filigree sort of thing, so it's this nicely, heavily designed spear, but Kira presses it in a certain space, and she can fire the laser out of it, and it's got the ability to hold, since it's a spear, we're not limited to just the one battery pack. You can put in 3 or 4 battery packs, so that as one drains, it just goes on to the next one, and then the next one, and then you just you're done, and you can just keep going. And so it could go for several fights. And so, I mean, this is exciting. This is like noir, whatever, sport, whatever it is you're into, this is the thing. And so crafting these kinds of cool things. And so we could take what you've currently got, or when we get to Nabokan, we can see about getting you something else. If you prefer something more natural, we can add there's the needler thing that Phaedra and I were talking about earlier, where we could put poison cartridges in it. So instead of shooting a laser out or fire out, we could shoot out fire, a fire. Oh, that would be cool too.
Just a flamethrower spear.
Yeah, that could be fun. Are any of these things speaking to you? We'd really like your input on this as well. That face is exactly what I expected.
Kira.
I'm not really well versed in weaponry, but I think that I could try whatever you guys might make for me. As long as the symbol of Desna does stay on the spear, I'm okay with it.
I think we could work around that.
I think we can incorporate that all over the place. I mean, this is the design, purely aesthetic thing, which I'm totally down for. We can make this really pretty, and we can really make Desna shine in this weapon. But so tell us more about Desna. I don't know a whole lot. Maybe you can tell us about, I don't know, what kind of energy does she like to put out in the world that might be helpful for you in battle?
Well, Desna is the protector of the traveler.
Okay.
So her symbols are a lot more like stars and things of that nature that could make a person feel in the big universe.
Okay. So talk to me about how Desna would defend these people if something bad were to come after them, like a silver dragon. Perhaps a silver dragon's attacking.
Off the top of your head.
Just a weary
The top of my
traveler
head.
who's just going through the universe trying to do her thing, and then suddenly a silver dragon comes along and says, "I'm going to take your stuff." And Desna's like, "No, I want to protect my person here." So what would Desna do to protect you?
Well, she probably wouldn't have a laser spear pistol.
Okay, yes, it's good feedback. Excellent feedback. Maybe another direction. Just talk to us about what you think.
Well, she'd probably outshine them out of existence like all the stars in the sky, if we're talking from like a religious standpoint. Otherwise, I don't know. I could ask her. I don't know if she'll respond.
Well, let's maybe simplify the idea. And I look at Phaedra and I'm like, perhaps you could do some translating here, because I think maybe I'm too excited and she's too literal. So
Yeah.
let's talk about what worshippers of Desna would do in that situation. You've got your thing you're trying to defend. Someone comes and they're big and maybe silvery, perhaps some wings. Who knows? Kind of scary looking. And they say, "I'm going to take your stuff." What would a follower of Desna do at that point? Would they say, "Oh, take my stuff"? Or would they say, "No, I need my stuff to survive, and if you're going to attack me, I need to be able to stop you"? Would they focus on a shield? Would they focus on a stabby stab? Would they go a pew pew? Well, what are we looking at? And I look at Phaedra to maybe, put these in Kira language with your therapeutic response.
I think what Angus is trying to say is if you yourself are being attacked, what would you like us to make you? And perhaps there is some specific type of damage that you would like to have. Perhaps holy, acid, poisonous.
Actually, you've helped me here too, because perhaps I have been too narrow in my thinking. I mean, this is Desna. Maybe Desna would, want a spear that you could, one end could stab and the other one you could have filled with stim packs that you could then, poke it from a distance and be like, "Oh, I don't want to get into the fight there, but I can be, 5 feet away and hit you with the butt of my staff and use some health." I mean,
A
that's
reach injector.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. Whatever's going to work for you, we want to make something that will work for you that you will use, not something that's super fun for us because we have time for that. We wanted to do this for you first.
I feel like I feel like it would be better for me to stay out of the fights, but I find myself in the fights because one of y'all keeps dying and I have to come in here and save you. Or something like that. But if I could stay like back and still use a little bit of healing, that would be really nice. Or shoot from a distance, and instead of getting hurt, one of y'all gets healed.
Okay, so I look at Phaedra and I'm like, so I suppose there are a couple options here. We could add a needler portion to her spear so that she turns so that the point is away, and then she pushes on the symbol of Desna and it shoots out a hypo needle full of stim healing. That could work. I mean, that's an option. Alternately, we could change her spear into a trident and she could still have the end for stabbing, but she flips a switch and then 2 of them would shoot out. I mean, there's lots of options. We should really sit down and maybe think about this some more. But I feel like my questions have been mostly answered. How about you?
I think we're good. We can also maybe a pistol that shoots out healing.
So just change the pistol from a pure laser to like a dual laser top and needle bottom to shoot out. Oh yeah, that could work. I could see that working.
Hashtag amaze cores.
right? I mean, there's all kinds of there's so much to do. And so we're super excited.
2 days of this, Absco. 2 days
Yeah.
of this.
Well, 4 hours of each day is us working on the maze course. So we're only bothering for a while.
They're only bothering you the other 20 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So Kira, your hat is done. It is 20% bigger, 20% floppier, and it has ornaments all the way around the brim. Just like dangles and jangles and bangles and everything. You now like, yeah, they swish in front of your face when you walk. It's beautiful.
You look like a Christmas tree.
But you see like stars of Desna and butterflies, and it's all very Desna themed. So all these symbols of Desna like wrap around your head.
Perfect. So I put the hat on and I shake it around to make the
Yep.
most obnoxious
And you
noises.
jangle.
And I look at George and I'm like, George, you have done it again.
George beams proudly.
It is beautiful. What were you working on before the hat? Like, what was going on?
Just this idea I had. You guys are a starship crew now, and most starship crews have the really reputable ones anyway. They have uniforms. I know it's kind of silly and stupid, but I was thinking maybe you'd like some matching uniforms so everyone can tell you're the adventure hookers.
I think that is a really good idea. Now, did you have a color scheme in mind for these?
Well, you guys seem to like a lot of like pinks and purples and like some really bright colors, so I was working with that.
Absco swivels around in their chair and they're like, black. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can incorporate some black. Yeah.
Mine only black, please.
Oh, not much of a uniform then.
Well, I won't be wearing much of one anyway.
Oh no. See, I'm thinking I'm going to tailor them each to your style, so you can maintain your personal style while wearing something recognizable as a uniform.
If you can allow me the opportunity to turn off the color, I could probably wear that.
Oh, and
Sitting there and he's thinking, I'll take some doing. I can do it. It's going to take some doing.
If you need some help with the, and just sparkles.
Oh, now he's sitting there. He's making notes. He's like just lost in his world. He's plotting how to create this uniform that
Nice.
will have the color, but then you can like turn it off
So cool.
to like make the suit transparent.
Also,
Or-
don't forget that mine has to be the best because I happen to be the captain.
He just goes medals. Got it. And is writing.
And George,
So you now have George quite occupied for some time because now he is obsessed, Absco.
it's like,
Like just you see him constantly mumbling to himself. Maybe I could use hexafluorine. No, that'd be too toxic. Maybe if I gave it a bath in mitochondrial. No, that just burn when you put it on.
As he's mumbling, I kind of pipe in. I'm like, you may want to try bioluminescent diodes.
He just looks up, and he looks at you, and he looks down, and he just starts scribbling like mad. Now he is redoubling his efforts. Guys, George wants to make you the absolute best uniforms you will ever see. But in the meantime, you have arrived at Verces. There is the city of Nabacon. You see the spiraling structures, the superhighways, the sprawling city. I mean, this is a high-tech, up-and-coming town. There's all kinds of air traffic, low altitude, mid-altitude, people coming and going from the very busy spaceport.
Absco heaves like this ginormous sigh. Not like, it's not negative, but they're like halfway wistful, halfway exhausted. Just by looking at the scape, and they're like, yeah, this is about it. This is how it's been.
I start sending pictures of what I see because I just think this is amazing. Like a lot of these buildings look like horns that have been twisted, and so the artwork is really speaking to me, the architecture. And so I'm just shooting the pictures over, the little screen captures over to Phaedra's screen, and I'm like, oh, look at this. Oh, this is cool. This is like, oh my goodness. My uncle Albert had a thing just like this. It was so cool.
All right.
It was removed. It was awful.
You guys get landed and get squared away with the Verthani customs officials. And And you see a few of these guards here. That is what the majority of the people look like. The Verthani like that. Wearing, they're kind of tall, big black eyes. Lots of them. Almost everyone you see has some sort of augmentation here. You know, extra fingers, an extra arm coming up over the top of them. You see some of them having respiration things, data jacks. You know, people pull out a thing from their head and plug it into the computer. Just everyone walking around. They're not quite androids, but they're all heavily upgraded. And you have the city of Nabicon. There is the clinics, all the various clinics. There's a list of the ones that will accept these vouchers. What would you like to do?
Get fixed up.
All right, so you've spent some time on the trip, like looking through some of the menus of these places. I believe most of you were looking for personal upgrades, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You go to the personal upgrade clinic. Be the best you that you can be. And there sits a receptionist who is herself heavily augmented. You see her fingers flying faster than you ever thought they could as she's tallying things up. You can tell her synaptic impulses are just firing as she looks up and says, "Welcome to the Verthani Personal Upgrade Clinic. How may I help you?" And her hands are just flying the whole time.
Well, we have some coupons.
Her fingers skip just a second and you hear burp, 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 coupons?
I believe
I
it's
think
vouchers.
what do you think we are? Some discount place? No. We don't have coupons.
I hold out the voucher from the adventure hook.
But we do take those. So.
Voucher and a coupon are the same thing. Same thing.
But she would like to, yeah. So would you like to schedule an appointment? And then she's, Absco, give me a perception check.
All right. That would be a 12.
All right, Absco. It is at this moment, as she looks up and looks into your eyes, that you realize, oh crap, you know this person. It's your cousin Verlani. Verlani Cash. And she just kind of stops. Absco, is that you?
Yeah, it's me. Hi, Verlani.
Well, are you here for, do you have a voucher as well?
Absco grimaces, and he's just like, I have one. I don't know if I'm gonna use it.
She just kind of snorts and says, well, have you at least told your mom you're here?
Of course not. But I will.
Uh-huh. Well, you better hope she finds out from you real soon before she finds out from someone else, because you know she won't be happy.
I lean forward a bit. I'm like, who, like you?
Oh, you don't have to worry about me. I'm not going to say nothing. I don't want to be in the middle of all that. You know, you should get some work done while you're here, though.
Absco looks a little like, absolutely offended. And they're like, just because we live in the most progressive city, or just because you live in the most progressive city, doesn't mean that everyone needs to augment themselves.
She just kind of snorts. Whatever, suit yourself. These people know what's up, though. So, would you like to head in now? Or would you like to schedule an appointment for later?
I'm good now.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think that now is a good time.
Now sounds good.
She hands you the paperwork.
I want to make sure there's nothing that says that we hold the adventure hook non-accountable for what happened for the loss.
No,
Okay.
it's just paperwork for the clinic to get your upgrades.
Thumbprint.
Cash these in and what upgrades you want and what you're looking for. This is an outpatient procedure. You'll be out for a few hours
Yeah,
with the personal upgrade. Yep.
and I do it.
Yep.
All right.
Fill out
All right.
the paperwork.
You fill out the paperwork. What about you, Absco?
Absco's like really troubled. So because they grew up around all of this, like they really don't like the social aspect of like feeling like you need to be changed in order to be better. Like they view the whole process of augmentation as messy
let's have Angus, Phaedra, and Kira all roll sense motives.
Ah.
10
I
for
got 10.
Angus
Ew.
Oh.
and 26 for Kira. So Phaedra, you can tell people like Angus, you're into your paperwork. You're like, I'm getting upgraded. I'm getting upgraded.
I've already done one of these, so getting a second one to me is like nothing.
Right? Phaedra, sitting there filling out paperwork, and you just kind of keep like you notice some people kind of looking at you guys weird, but you're kind of used to that by now. Kira, you realize that everyone is giving Absco the side eye.
Hmm.
Like just kind of one of those stealthy, like stare at him until they realize someone's looking and then they look away.
Okay, so I go up to Absco and I like scoot in. I don't know if he's standing or whatever, but I slowly creep up and I'm
I
like,
just picture that big floppy hat.
I know.
In the
It's like put it
camera.
over him.
Like Absco's face and big floppy hat.
yes.
Well, it's like this lamp that has chosen to get a little bit closer.
It's
And
just
I'm like,
jangling.
Yeah.
what did you do?
I didn't do anything, and that's the problem. Everybody here changes themselves. They go in, they get procedures done, and that's just what is normal here, and I haven't.
Because there's a lot of people here who are looking at you kind of weird.
Why do you think it's so easy for me to disappear?
All right, I guess you want to stay all natural. That's okay.
Getting an augment is messy. Why would you want to fuse metal with biomaterial?
Well, I grew up on a farm, so I can understand that a little bit. But after being on the show, I definitely know that I need.
Yeah. I mean, part of me really wants to stand and say, you know what, no, I'm not going to change anything about myself. But you're right. That was a very scary experience. And they look down at this coupon and they're like, this is an opportunity.
It sure is. And if we're gonna get the adventure hook back from that woman, we should probably do everything we can before running head first into that.
Yeah. I just don't want to be different. I guess maybe if I do something like a bio-augment, it wouldn't be that apparent.
Exactly. See, you are on the right track. I think that a bio-augment would be the best thing.
So Absco, a bio-augment you can get here in the city. It's in a different clinic. And you also know that it's considered kind of the hippie way to get augmented. You know? Yeah, it's like eating whole foods, you know, like someone that's like, I have my quinoa salad and, you know, makes a big deal about it. That's how most bio-augmented people are. Oh, well, I get the natural augments. I don't take that metal crap like you do.
Well, like, if I remember correctly, like there's a whole sect of the Verthani Society who don't get any augments whatsoever.
Yes. In some of the more conservative areas, yes, absolutely.
And so, like, I think the bio-augment, for Absco at least, is just one of those ways of, you know, kind of fitting in, but being allowed to still have their beliefs.
So you're like the person you're like the person sitting there going, I'm a vegetarian as you eat sushi.
Yeah, but
That's kind of
it sounds so like snobby, but like. It's
no, I get it, but for you, for Absco, it's a compromise.
Yeah, it's definitely
to
a compromise.
upgrade without, yeah.
So yeah,
Makes it better for you. Is
What?
Having it not visible is what I'm hearing.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
I get it. I thought that's where we were as well, because those are the same augments that Angus is doing, because Angus still wants to look like a full noir, doesn't want any metal or anything showing.
What, no mecha zombie noir?
No. No.
it's not like we're doing any necro augments.
No. So you're not getting bio upgrades per se, because what you guys are getting are basically cybernetic, but they're implanted, probably nanites that are going to be programmed to revamp and integrate with your systems.
Oh,
So, for example, you wanted an intelligence upgrade, right, Angus?
yes.
So yeah, they're going to worm their way into your brain and excite the nervous pathways, and create new links to improve processing speed.
Sweet.
And someone wanted a dex bonus.
That was me.
So you're going to get nanites injected that are programmed to go into your joints and replace some of your tendons with high tensile springs and things like that. So you have basically spring-assisted limbs, so that you can move faster. And then what was Kira getting upgraded?
Wisdom.
Again, they hit your neural pathways, and they affect him differently. Whereas Angus's is more about getting recalling information and things like that, like data storage. Yours becomes more about the immediate processing of your senses coming in, helping give you like extra awareness. Now, Absco, you're talking about wanting to go to a bio clinic.
Yeah, so Absco kind of leans over to Kira and says, okay, I think I have an idea. And if we're going to be going up against a dragon, I know of an implant that I can get that might be helpful. But would you go with me?
Well, sure, I'll go with you. I mean, I'm sure that they'll go off and do their own thing after this. Let me just get my implant, and I'll go with you, and you get yours.
Okay. I'm thinking about getting a dragon gland so I can breathe fire.
That would be very nice against us.
That's what I was thinking.
Seeing Kira, breathe fire. Okay.
Why didn't I think of that?
You still have time.
Nah, I need that bonus.
All right.
There.
Well, as the rest of you, as the three of you, Angus, Kira, and Phaedra head back into the procedure room and get your procedures done, I think that brings us to the end of our time for today. So, once again, for ExQueerience Points, I want to thank you for listening or watching. I am Miyu. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Miyu Plays Games.
I am Kelrick. You can find me at EQ Points or at Cormelon, my personal account.
I'm Taylor, and you can find me on Twitter at Milky Game.
I'm Megan. You can find me on Twitter at DungeonsMeg or on Tumblr at Tiefling to Tiefling.
And I'm Punter. You can find me on Twitter at PunterDrone.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.